Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Disenchanted, in the long-awaited sequel to the Disney surprise hit Enchanted, starring Amy Adams as Giselle, this princess from a wonderful animated fantasy world, with her prince, played by James Marsden, Edward, and she winds up going to New York City and meeting this lawyer, played by Patrick Dempsey. They fall in love and have happily ever after. But what happens when that happily ever after doesn't last? And we have now Morgan, Patrick Dempsey's daughter in this film. Growing up, she's a teenager. Giselle and Robert, Dempsey's character, have a child now. And they decide to move out to the suburbs, this wonderful little town of Monroeville. And here's the thing, Morgan doesn't like it. She wants to stay in New York with all of her friends and her experiences and that city life. So then there's that tension between her and Giselle, who she blames for it. And that dynamic of, you're not my real mother, really comes into play. And Maya Rudolph's kind of like the queen bee here in this small town. And then, of course, you have this magical wand given by Robert, and Nancy, Idina Menzel's character, at the beginning of the film is a gift, and Giselle uses it and changes the whole town into a magical land. But here's the thing, what are stepmothers like in magical lands? Evil! And the whole entire plot basically is this evil version of Giselle, who's like the evil stepmother, wants to take over the town. And basically we only have Morgan, played by Gabriella Battacino, who's Morgan when she was the little girl in the previous film. She's our only hope and has to go to Giselle's original home and try to find some kind of solution to end this. And it hits a lot of familiar beats. A lot of the musical numbers feel familiar Disney. There's one particular song that I loved, and it was a duet between Amy Adams and Maya Rudolph, dealing with a lot of, like, evil kind of things. And Amy Adams is great, going back and forth between these two characters. She's really getting a chance to flex her talents in this particular film. I think Battacino does a fine job. They lucked out that like this young girl who grew up can still act and can sing. Patrick Dempsey's character Robert, though, is completely wasted in this new fantasy world. He's off trying to chase dragons and giants and prove himself, but like it feels like it's halting all the pacing at once just to go on these asides with him that really don't amount to anything and aren't particularly interesting. It's not part of the core emotional dynamics of the film that make this engaging and relatable. You have these two main characters of stepmother and stepdaughter. There's those dynamics. There's a lot of fun special effects and magic throughout the film that brings things to life. And generally, there's not a whole lot to this film besides some fun musical numbers, some general strong performances, and, you know, everybody coming together at the end to try to take down this big threat. But besides that, nothing really stands out in a particular way. Anything that's going to really grab you to keep you there. But, like, this film is fun and enjoyable. It's on Disney Plus. You can just plop down, turn it on, and just enjoy it for the, I think this was 2 hours. I feel like on some level, with such little actual plot here, they could have trimmed this down. The whole Patrick Dempsey thing just felt like a complete waste. But in general, I think that Disenchanted is a fun, if not flawed, and a little boring follow-up to our previous experience here. And I would say if you enjoyed Enchanted and you enjoy fantasy and princesses and stuff like that, this will give you enough. Enjoy it, sit back, relax, and experience it for yourself. But otherwise, I think this is a solid film that has broad appeal, and you can just sit at home and watch it with your family. But those are my thoughts on Disenchanted. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.